reiterated. He is going to reiterate the same argument again and again, no matter how many times it is answered, because what is true is that he actually does not have any other argument. So he's going to keep reiterating the same thing again and again. So be ready to hear that. But I'm not going to do the same thing. I'm going to just keep on moving and keep on bringing examples of where the Masoretic text is clearly not the most parsimonious reading of the text. Now let us move to the next example, which is Samuel 14:42, 1 Samuel 14:42, where the Masoretic text presents Saul as presenting lots, Shaul as presenting lots, but the thing is that when he presents the lots, the reading is cut off in between. He says, therefore said Saul to Yahweh, God of Israel, give perfect lot. So were taken Jonathan and Saul, but the people escaped. This does not make any sense, because give a perfect lot and then the effect of the lot is suddenly presented. There's a clear abruption in the text. But when you open the Septuagint and the Qumran manuscripts, you read another reading. And Saul said, O Lord of God of Israel, why hast thou not answered thy servant in this day? Is this the iniquity in me or in Jonathan my son? So here you have a clear question which presents where is the problem? Is it in Saul or is it in Jonathan? Lord God of Israel, give clear manifestations. And if the Lord should declare
Wait,
this,
he's not here.
give
He's
I
not
pray
here.
thee.
Hold on, no.
Yeah, it's just
Were you,
tries.
Yaakov, were you able to hear what he said?
Yeah, just disconnecting when I'm off the app.
Okay.
Yeah. Give clear manifestations. If the Lord should declare this, give, I pray thee, to thy people of Israel, give, I pray, holiness. And Jonathan and Saul were taken, and to the people they escaped. So in this case, you have a clear example of the reading that is in the Septuagint being more parsimonious, being more clear, and actually preserving the logical connection of what Saul was intending to say, which was, first divide between me and my son. So first divide between my son, and the people, and from that first division, then present between me and my son. So here, once again, the Masoretic text has a reading which definitely is not the most parsimonious reading of the text. So just to reiterate, what's happening here? What is happening is that the interlocutor does not actually have an argument as to why we should believe that the Masoretic text is the most reliable version of the Hebrew Old Testament. We have multiple cases where we have strong cases as to why we should not support the Masoretic reading of the text. What the interlocutor is going to say is that, since it's transmitted by transmitters, they're reliable. I have asked them a very particular question. If these transmitters are reliable, how do you know that? How do you know that they are morally upright people? And even if they are morally upright, how do you know they are legitimate transmitters? They are not making scribal errors.
You all set, brethren? Are you? Yeah. Okay. Boom.
Hey, can I begin?
Yep.
Okay, so all you've done again was simply just appeal to other traditions without again actually establishing that these are the traditions as established and handed down from the prophets themselves. If you wish to say that the Masoretic text omits certain verses and certain phrases, then we can just merely appeal to ellipsis, which is common in the Hebrew, and just say that the intention has been preserved through the nakal. So again, this isn't a defeater to the reliability of the Masoretic text. This is merely just establishing that the Masoretic text is different, which isn't something I deny based upon the fact that those who possess the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint don't really have any sort of reliable sanad, any sort of reliable nakal back to the prophets. So again, you haven't established the deficiency in the Masoretic, you've merely just established the difference. Now, in regards to how do I know that the previous tens of thousands have been morally upright, this again is going to be contingent on the testimony of the tens of thousands in every generation back until Mount Sinai. So again, there's tens of thousands today who attest to verifying and observing the previous generation as being both possessing adala and possessing ilm in the Torah. And they receive tradition from them that this has been the case in every generation back until Mount Sinai, where the previous generation would observe and verify the generation before them as possessing both of these traits. If this tradition is false, this necessitates that at some point from now until Moses, either a generation of tens of thousands misverified the previous generation before them, which again is going to be something implausible based upon the fact that you have a generation of tens of thousands of individuals possessing both ilm and adala carrying out this observation and verification. Thus, it necessarily follows that there has always been tens of thousands in every generation before them back until Mount Sinai. So again, actually deal with the argument, stop just appealing to differences which can easily be explained away with the nakal of what has been transmitted by these tens of thousands, or what can be explained away with ellipsis. Stop appealing to the fact that this is the ijma' of academics, when the ijma' of academics simply just hold that God doesn't exist. Stop appealing to the evidences when the evidences, the ijma', the dalil of the ijma' of the scholars, can simply be refuted by the argument of tens of thousands, and the implausibility of tens of thousands of people simultaneously falling into error. Because of the fact that I am able to establish that every generation prior to me, the transmitters possess both ilm and adala, I have reason to assume that what has been passed through this authentic sanad is sahih. And because the fact that what has been passed through is sound, I can accept it regardless of its differences with the Dead Sea Scrolls or with the Septuagint, which you aren't really able to verify any sort of authentic sanad back to the prophets with. So actually deal with the argument. Stop just appealing to differences.
Wait. Give me 1 second. Okay. On your first word.
Yes, so here once again, as I have told you, that the whole debate is just going to be the repetition of this. It would be me presenting the variant different divergences where the empty text is clearly not the most parsimonious reading, and the interlocutor is just going to keep on asking, how you have not dealt with my argument. Well, the argument has clearly been dealt with. You have given us no objective evidence for why we should trust this claim that there was this generational transmission to begin with. Why is that not a clearly back-projected fabrication? Then, even if we grant this claim that there was some type of generational transmission, why should we agree that the generational transmission is necessarily going to be by morally upright people? You have not actually answered that question. And even if we grant that the generation transmission is by upright people, you have not argued in any substantial way as to why the scribal errors still could not happen, because the scribal errors can definitely happen by very genuine people as well, because they are just human nature. Humans can make mistakes when they're writing and when they're transmitting. It's not necessary that in any particular text the transmission of people, even if they're good, they would always be accurate. Now, coming on to the next example, which is Deuteronomy 32:43, where we have the Song of Moses and the ending of the Song of Moses. The ending of the Song of Moses in the Masoretic text is this time, in fact, shorter, whereas in the Dead Sea Scrolls and in the Septuagint, both we have a longer reading. And this reading is clearly fits. There is no theological motive for inserting this reading. The reading rhymes as the Song of Moses is rhyming. It is metrical. So there is no reason to posit that the reading was in fact missed by the scribe. What would have happened very likely was that was once again an example where the scribe made a mistake, because the lines started in the same way. So once two lines start in the same way, the scribes often copy one line and they skip one line and they move on to the next line because they accidentally missed the line which started in the same manner. This is very common. This is actually documented in multiple textual traditions in Arabic, Hebrew, Syriac, Coptic, Greek, Latin textual traditions. This is a very common human practice. So the thing is, the burden of you are making an exceptional claim today. You are making the claim that not only were these people morally upright, not only were they not fabricating, but they were even free of such errors that I am talking about. But you have not given any evidence for that. Here, I have given you one more example of where it is very clear that the ending of the Song of Moses is better preserved in the Septuagint and better preserved in the Qumran manuscripts in comparison to Masoretic text. There's no reason for us to posit that it's a later anachronistic interpolation. So here we go. We have one more example. Thank you.
All right. So are you guys willing to do like a 5-minute cross exam between each of you?
Can we just do uninterrupted, like a discussion?
Do you want it timed like a a 10-minute just like open dialogue, just so we can like clear up some of the shubhas, right? And then we can
let's
return
do a
back.
10-minute open. Let's do it. I need to go, and like it's like 2 a.m. almost. So let's do like a 15-minute open, if possible, and then let's do like 5 minutes closing.
Okay, brethren, are you fine with that?
I'm fine with anything.
Okay. So again, right, you're appealing to like these different textual traditions, like the Syriac, the Latin, the Coptic traditions. Do you believe these go back to the prophets?
No, I mean, that's irrelevant. That's not what I was talking about.
Can you just answer the question?
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. If it is the case, right, that I'm able to establish a matan, a narration from Moses himself establishing that the Torah is immutable, would this follow that the Torah is preserved?
No.
Can you explain to me how?
Well, because why would I believe Moses?
Okay, again, if I am able to... Oh, so you don't prefer Moses?
No, because just because Moses says something is true, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be true.
Okay, is Moses ma'asum?
Again, no. Evidence
No?
for that.
Oh, so you don't affirm Moses to be like a prophet or infallible?
I don't even affirm his existence to begin with.
Oh, are you serious, or are you just saying this for the sake of the debate?
No, I'm serious. What's the evidence that he exists?
Can you say, wallah, you don't affirm Moses to have existed?
Wallahi, I don't affirm that he existed.
So again, say, wallahi, Musa alayhi salam did not exist. Well, you can't even say alayhi salam.
Wallahi, Musa alayhi salatu wassalam, I don't have any evidence that he existed.
Okay, well, I thought like I was debating a Shia here. Am I debating like an agnostic or an atheist?
Yeah, so your argument is just going to be presuppositionalism?
My argument is going to be relying upon the Shia standard to establish it by the Shia standard the Torah sound.
So you do not actually have objective evidence to prove the authenticity or the textual reliability of the Torah.
I do have objective evidence, and the objective evidence
so isn't that objective
Let me
evidence?
finish.
Why do you need to appeal to the claims of Moses?
Yeah. Like my evidence is going to be appealing to the Shia standard, which in itself is sound, and then providing a standard which is superior to that, which forces you to accept it. But again, like you said, wallahi, Moses did not exist. Can you elaborate upon this?
Yeah, no, I said, wallahi, I do not possess any critical historical evidence to posit the existence of Moses. Somebody might have existed. Yeah, somebody might have existed. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to posit that Moses did not exist, or Moses existed.
Okay, this is something else. This is the taqiyya now, because initially you said that wallahi, Moses did not exist. Now you are saying wallahi, you have no evidence to assume that he did exist, which is going to be like different.
We cannot prove. Yeah, we can, as you would understand, we cannot prove negatives, right? All we can do is that we can say we do not have any evidence to affirm them, right?
But this isn't what you said. This isn't what you said. You said wallahi, exactly Moses did not exist.
No,
you said wallahi, Moses did not exist.
I don't have any evidence that he existed. Which colloquially you can take it. Yeah, you can take it to be evidence that he did not exist. That's fine.
You literally said wallahi, I did not believe that Moses existed. But this is fine. This is like triple taqiyya.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. You can take it to be that case. Now go ahead. Okay. Present the actual evidence. Yeah. Why should I take your reading over the readings which are actually even supported by the Septuagint? So let me ask you this: what's your view about the Septuagint? What do you think?
It's gonna be it's gonna be majhul, meaning it doesn't really have any sort of reliable sanad back to any of the prophets. What is your view on it? Do you affirm that it is
my view is that the Septuagint can sometimes actually have readings that are more representative of the original readings in comparison to the Masoretic text.
How do you establish that these original readings go back to the prophets?
I don't think they go back to the prophet.
Okay. Are you able to prove with like any sort of evidence that any of the ayahs in the Septuagint or the Dead Sea Scrolls go back to the prophets?
Well, in some cases they might. For example, in some cases of Isaiah.
Okay, how do you prove that some verses of the Septuagint go back to the prophets, please? What's the dalil?
Yeah, based on higher criticism.
Okay, can you like give me like an argument for this, please?
Yeah, you can just go open the Anchor Yale Bible on Isaiah, for example, and you'll get an extended case. I can just give you a summary, which is just gonna be
just put it into like a syllogism.
No, it's not going to be a syllogism. It's going to be an abductive argument, which is going to be the use case, the milieu, the lack of anachronisms in certain parts of Isaiah are going to entail that the view with the traditional authorship is consistent. But that's not going to be the case for all.
But like, how's this going to prove that like any of the verses go back to like the yad, the hand of Isaiah?
No, it's not going to prove that. All it's going to prove is
so you have no way.
General,
yes.
Yeah.
You have no way to establish that any of the verses in Isaiah go back to the yad of Isaiah. Anyways, so what's going to be the dalil? Let me finish.
So,
what's going to be like the
Arias,
dalil? Go ahead.
No, I have a point of moderation. So is it just him questioning me for 15 minutes, or what is it?
You can ask me a question back. Like, go ahead.
Okay, then you have just been questioning me. So when do I get a turn?
Yeah, you're welcome to ask me a question back. Like, no one's stopping.
So, no. Okay, go ahead for 2 more minutes. You can go ahead for 2 more minutes. Then
when the
Quran,
like you said at the beginning, that Moses did not exist. When the Quran says that Moses did exist, is this ayah going to be like da'if? Is this ayah going to be like a bid'ah?
No, that's the prophet affirming the mythology of the ancients.
Can you explain what this means?
Yeah, there was a particular view in his milieu, and he just affirms it.
And so the view that like
how's this related to this topic? I don't understand. I could be an atheist right now. Your argument is your burden of evidence is to prove the reliability of Torah.
Yeah. I've just never dealt with a Shia who like affirms that Moses.
Oh no, you have not dealt with someone who actually cares about evidence. That's the problem.
Okay, so I guess like that verse is da'if, whatever. Anyways, so what's going to be the case that the Masoretic goes back? So I gave 2 arguments for this. Like the first initial argument, I'll give them both again, is that tens of thousands testify to that always being to receiving from tens of thousands who they observed to be reliable, right? When I say reliable,
that itself needs evidence. First of all,
So this is evidence. Let me finish. I'm going to give you the evidence 1 second. Like, let me make the argument. Don't just like interrupt me on the first premise. So the evidence is going to be, right, merely that this is an ikka, what we call a principle of faith in Judaism. The same way it's going to be a principle of faith according to your paradigm, right, that God is one and God is not, for example, a Trinity. It is a principle of faith in Judaism, right, that we have, that as an ummah, that we observed tens of thousands before us to possess both adala and ilm in the Torah. Now, this isn't just for the previous generation that we testify to receiving from, but we testify that this has been the case, transmitted and observed in every generation back until Mount Sinai, where tens of thousands would verify the tens of thousands before them. If it is the case, now listen here, if it is the case that this nakil is bid'ah, you have to say that tens of thousands of people lied, which again is not something plausible until you can maybe give me an argument for so.
Okay, amazing. I think you have had enough time to ask questions. So now my question is, why should I ignore all the textual critical scholarship, which shows in many instances that those particular readings are much more parsimonious? Why should I ignore that and accept your view over that?
Because the majority of parsimonious readings can be explained away with sound nakil, which I established through my syllogism. Let me finish. And ellipsis, which is something going to be like more present in the Hebrew than in the Septuagint.